Imagination is more important than knowledge. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. People like us, who believe in physics, know that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. Any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. When forced to summarize the general theory of relativity in one sentence, time and space and gravitation have no separate existence from matter. For every 1 billion particles of antimatter, there were 1 billion and 1 particles of matter. And when the mutual annihilation was complete, 1 billionth remained. And that's our present universe. As far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain. And as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. I don't believe in mathematics. Science is a wonderful thing if one does not have to earn one's living at it. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. I maintain that the cosmic religious feeling is the strongest and noblest motive for scientific research. God does not play dice with the universe. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details. Subtle is the Lord, but malicious he is not. Strange is our situation here upon this earth. Each of us comes for a short visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to a divine purpose. There remains something subtle, intangible, and inexplicable. Veneration for this force beyond anything that we can comprehend is my religion. Human beings, vegetables, or cosmic dust, we all dance to a mysterious tune intoned in the distance by an invisible player. Do you believe in immortality? No, and one life is enough for me. Scientists were rated as great heretics by the Church, but they were truly religious men because of their faith in the orderliness of the universe. I do not believe that the good Lord plays dice. When the solution is simple, God is answering. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing. Peace cannot be achieved through violence. It can only be attained through understanding. The value of a man resides in what he gives, and not in what he is capable receiving. Try not to be a person of success, but rather a person of virtue. Try not to become a man of success, but rather to become a man of value. So long as there are men, there will be wars. Nationalism is an infantile disease, the measles of mankind. I believe in standardizing automobiles, not human beings. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. The true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained liberation from the self. It is not by sitting still at a grand distance and calling the human race larvae that men are to be helped. A man's ethical behavior should be based effectually on sympathy, education, and social ties. No religious basis is necessary. Man would indeed be in a poor way if he had to be restrained by fear of punishment and hope of reward after death. America is today the hope of all honorable men who respect the rights of their fellow men and who believe in the principle of freedom and justice. Perfection of means and confusion of ends seem to characterize our age. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Once you can accept the universe as matter expanding into nothing that is something, wearing stripes with plaid comes easy. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. The most aggravating thing about the younger generation is that I no longer belong to it. They want to see me, here I am. If they want to see my clothes, open my closet and show them my suits. With fame, I become more and more stupid, which of course is a very common phenomenon. Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything he learned in school. Teaching should be such that what is offered is perceived as a valuable gift and not as a hard duty. Example isn't another way to teach. It is the only way to teach. Wisdom is not a product of schooling but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. We know nothing at all. All our knowledge is but the knowledge of schoolchildren. The real nature of things we shall never know. You teach me baseball and I'll teach you relativity. No, we must not. You will learn about relativity faster than I learn baseball. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who read too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Great spirits have always found violent opposition from mediocrities. The latter cannot understand it when a man does not thoughtlessly submit to hereditary prejudices, but honestly and courageously uses his intelligence. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. The secret to creativity is knowing how to hide your sources. People like you and I, though mortal of course like everyone else, do not grow old no matter how long we live. We never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Everything that is really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can labor in freedom. We have to do the best we can. This is our sacred human responsibility. Where there is love, there is no question. Long live impudence. It's my guardian angel in this world. Most people say that it is the intellect which makes a great scientist. They are wrong. It is character. The only thing more dangerous than ignorance is arrogance. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. The only source of knowledge is experience. The only real valuable thing is intuition. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Creativity is intelligence having fun. I lived in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in maturity. At any rate, I am convinced that he does not play dice. I want to know God's thoughts, the rest are details. Make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. The world is not dangerous because of those who do harm, but because of those who look at it without doing anything. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. The most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Try not to become a man of success, but rather to become a man of value. You never fail until you stop trying. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. A little knowledge is dangerous, so is a lot. God is subtle, but he is not malicious. Information is not knowledge. One flower is beautiful, a surfeit of flowers is vulgar. Where there's a will, there's a way. The idle man does not know what it is to enjoy rest. Great spirits have always found violent opposition from mediocrities. The man of science is a poor philosopher. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. If the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Never memorize something that you can look up. A person starts to live when he can live outside himself. As far as I'm concerned, I prefer silent vice to ostentatious virtue. God always takes the simplest way. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. Bureaucracy is the death of all sound work. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. I'm doing just fine, considering that I have triumphantly survived Nazism and 2 wives. I have reached an age when, if someone tells me to wear socks, I don't have to. Women always worry about things that men forget. Men always worry about things women remember. Any man who can drive safely while kissing a pretty girl is simply not giving the kiss the attention it deserves. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Mankind invented the atomic bomb, but no mouse would ever construct a mousetrap. Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. Man usually avoids attributing cleverness to somebody else, unless it is an enemy. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing. At our age, the devil doesn't give you much time off. I think and think for months and years, 99 times, the conclusion is false. The 100th time I am right. The pioneers of a warless world are the youth who refuse military service. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Those instrumental goods which should serve to maintain the life and health of all human beings should be produced by the least possible labor of all. The search for truth is more precious than its possession. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Isn't it strange that I, who have written only unpopular books, should be such a popular fellow? He who joyfully marches in rank and file has already earned my contempt. He has been given a large brain by mistake, since for him the spinal cord would suffice. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is to not stop questioning. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. I have deep faith that the principle of the universe will be beautiful and simple. Truth is what stands the test of experience. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Quantum mechanics is very impressive, but an inner voice tells me that it is not yet the real thing. The theory yields a lot, but it hardly brings us any closer to the secret of the old one. In any case, I am convinced that he doesn't play dice. Great spirits have always found violent opposition from mediocre minds. The latter cannot understand it when a person does not thoughtlessly submit to hereditary prejudices, but honestly and courageously uses their intelligence. How strange is the lot of us mortals. Each of us is here for a brief sojourn, for what purpose we know not, though sometimes sense it. But we know from daily life that we exist for other people, first of all, for whose smiles and well-being our own happiness depends. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving.